The Holy Gospel according to Mark.
Glory to you, O Lord.
From there he set out and went away to the region of Tyre. He entered a house and did not want anyone to know he was there. Yet he could not escape notice. But a woman whose little daughter had an unclean spirit immediately heard about him, and she came and bowed down at his feet. Now the woman was a Gentile, of Syro-Phoenician origin. She begged him to cast the demon out of her daughter. He said to her, "Let the children be fed first, for it is not fair to take the children's food and throw it to the dogs." But she answered him, "Sir, even the dogs under the table eat the children's crumbs." Then he said to her, "For saying that, you may go. The demon has left your daughter." So she went home, found the child laying on the bed, and the demon gone. Then returned from the region of Tyre and went by way of Sidon toward the Sea of Galilee to the region of the Decapolis. They brought to him a deaf man who had an impediment in his speech, and they begged him to lay his hand on him. He took him aside in private, away from the crowd, and put his fingers into his ears, and he spat and touched his tongue. Then looking up to heaven, he signed and said to him, "Ephanata," that is, be open. And immediately his ears were opened, his tongue was released, and he spoke plainly. Then Jesus ordered him to tell no one. But the more he ordered them, the more zealously they proclaimed it. They were astonished beyond measure, saying, "He has done everything well. He even makes the deaf to hear and the mute to speak." The Gospel of the Lord.
Praise to you, Lord Christ.
Today's message is not from the Gospel. It's from our second reading, a portion of the second reading. Don't show favoritism. I want to talk a little bit about eating. When we used to live in Alabama, we had a favorite seafood restaurant we went to. It's a buffet, kind of a all-you-can-eat kind of a place. And I'd go through the line, and I'd pick out all the things that I like. Seafood. I love seafood. I have oysters, shrimp, clams on a hash shell, crab claws, fish. I love fish. Fried, baked, broiled, blackened. Any way I could get it, I'd get it all. And needless to say, I'd ignore everything else. I didn't want French fries, hush puppies, coleslaw. I could get that at home. We loved that place. We'd eat there about once a week. But what was the basis for what we ate and what we didn't? It was what appealed to us, or appealed to me. It wasn't whether it was good for us. It wasn't whether or not it was a balanced meal. Just what it tasted like. Sometimes I feel like we grow in our faith as if it were an all-you-can-eat buffet. We go through life picking out this doctrine, but ignoring another. So what is the basis for what we believe? It's whether or not it appeals to us. Not whether it is true, not whether it is right. It's whether or not we like it. Our faith, our beliefs, and our ethics have become like an all-you-can-eat buffet. We pick and choose. Now, today we look at the first part of James 2. Two questions are raised here in James. What people do you choose to love? And what ethics do you choose to obey? These are two good questions that James raises here. And the first one is, whom do you choose to love? The Bible tells us repeatedly over and over to love each other and to love everyone. But the question we really need to ask ourselves, Whom do we really have to love? But let me go back to the buffet for a minute. For the James, he's only talking about two selections, the rich and the poor. But in today's world, we have a buffet filled with many different kinds of people. The rich and the poor, the people you work for, the people that you work with. There are beautiful people. We'll have to admit there's some ugly people. There are smart people, and there's those that's not quite so smart. There's people who speak our language, some that don't speak our language. There are people with skin the same color of ours. And then there's people with different colored skin. There are people that are entertaining and fun to be with. We all have friends like that. Then we'll have to admit there are some people that are just dull. Just dull. But who do you love? Most of us pick and choose. We are selective in deciding whom we love. I have a favorite saying. I love everybody, but some more than others. Now that's my sin and that's my burden. It shouldn't be that way. But we know how it is with favoritism. You know, when I was in the workforce, I was always kind of in management, or middle management, and I always had somebody that I was bound and determined they was put there on earth for one purpose. Antagonist. Then you have other people that was your go-to people that I always would put them above everyone else. I expected more out of them. I always felt like I was a good supervisor because I treated everybody the same. But I have to admit I didn't all love them the same. But that is my sin. God tells us to love all people, not just to be selective about it. For the people James was writing to, it was just centered around financial power. But whatever the criteria is, it is important for us to love all people. For this is what God commands. As James puts it, just don't show favoritism. Can you imagine what it would have been like if God had shown favoritism? What would it have been like if God had said to the world, I love you, but not you folks over there. The most beloved passage of Scripture does not say, for God so loved parts of the world that He gave His only Son. We all know that John 3:16 says, for God so loved the world that He gave His only Son, that whosoever believes in Him would not perish, but have eternal life. Now James is telling us to go and do likewise, love all people. Then James goes on to talk about the favoritism towards the laws of God, obeying some and not obeying the others. In this portion of his letter, James says, but if you show favoritism, you sin and convicted by the law as lawbreakers. For whoever keeps the whole law and yet stumbles at just one point is guilty of breaking all of it. We live our faith as if it were a buffet. We take a little of this, but we leave behind some of that. We listen to the Ten Commandments and we agree with most of them. The program of showing such favoritism towards God's law and being so selective is that we end up with an unbalanced faith. Our feelings are so clouded with our own sinful desires that we just pick and choose our ethics. We will never grow in faith if we are to look at a buffet of law and ethics. What would we choose? We would choose the things that are easy to obey. We all know the commandment, thou shalt not kill. Now I'll take that one. I haven't killed anyone this week, so I can live with that. Thou shalt not covet. I coveted a Lexus SUV coming up here this morning. It's too hard, so I'll leave that one out. It's too confining. But James doesn't describe the laws of God as being confining. Instead, in verses 2:12, he describes them as the law that gives freedom. Now, to me, that's an interesting way of describing the laws of God. But look at the buffet selections. the laws of God. And most of us will see a lot of thou shalt nots. But James looked at them and sees freedom, only by accepting the whole law of God, not by treating God's law as if it were a buffet, for which you can select a little of this and leave behind a little of that. You know, I loved all that all-you-can-eat buffet, but I've learned over the years, life is not a buffet. Life is a feast. And in a feast, you don't just eat what you want. You eat it all. You take it all in. We don't pick and choose whom to love or what laws to obey. And we leave no person unloved. We leave none of God's laws ignored. Now, the next time you look at someone and you might feel a little bit judgmental, not quite sure if you want to include them into your little circle, you just got to go back and remember those people that God loved and chose them in the buffet that He had to choose from. You got to remember that Noah was once a drunk. Abraham was an old man. Isaac was a daydreamer. Jacob was a liar. Lee was one of those ugly people we talked about. Joseph was abused. Moses had a stuttering problem, and he had murder on his record. Gideon was a fraidy cat. Samson had long hair and was kind of a womanizer. Rahab was a reformed prostitute. Jeremiah and Timothy were young people. David had an affair, and he also had murder on his record. Elijah was suicidal. Isaac preached naked. Jonah ran from God. Naomi was a widow. Job went bankrupt. John the Baptist ate bugs. Peter denied Christ 3 times. And even the disciples fell asleep while praying. And Martha worried about everything. The Samaritan woman was divorced more than once. And you got to remember Lazarus was even dead. God chose them out of His buffet, and He loved them all. Just as I feel like He loves me, and He loves you. Let us pray. Lord, as we go through this life, grant us the strength and the courage to love everyone, no matter what their status in life is. Give us the wisdom to realize that our God gave us the right to choose and make decisions, and help us to choose wisely.